Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Louder Pop Culture Podcast. This is for March 28th, 2022. I am your host, Tomye West, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Alannis Maximus. How you going, man?
Yeah, not bad.
How's work been and stuff?
Yeah, no real complaints, which I suppose when it comes to that kind of thing is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you been gaming or doing much movie watching or anything?
I've been playing WWE 22K, which so far has been pretty impressive. It was damn sight better than the last attempt in 2000.
Yeah, awesome. As you can see, I've still got first-person mode cranking on GTA 5 because I don't want to play it in first-person mode, but I want the trophy for playing for 15 hours in first-person mode. So, yeah, we're going to get on with the show. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. Our audience is growing every day. It's growing bigger and bigger, and we thank you for the support. We're slowly crossing about 800 views every 48 hours, which is a big jump considering about 4 weeks ago we said we were getting around the 300 mark. So that's a big jump. We got a lot more subscribers now. We only just crossed our 100 sub goal, and we're already at 115. So we are closer to. We are closer to our 150 sub goal, and we haven't worked out the price for that yet, but we will be in the next few weeks. Week. And yeah, we got a lot to cover today. We've got a lot of stories, including Suicide, some news from Rocksteady, the game development crew behind Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. We have some news on Gran Turismo 7. We have some news on the Batman, and we also have some more news, including some news on Jackass 4.5 and a bunch of other stuff. So how are you feeling about our stories we got lined up for today, Alan?
I reckon it is going to be a juicy episode.
It is. To be honest, I just quickly got stories together today. As soon as I've spent, a couple of hours just looking around what was like kind of worthy talking about. But for a while there, I was like, there's not much going on. And then I managed to scrape up a pretty big list of stories that are happening. So we'll get into the first story, which is, I'm pretty sure I named this wrong. It shouldn't have an S at the end of the kill, but whatever. Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. Rocksteady's new game in the DC franchise has been delayed. I'm just going to pull up this article in a minute. 1 second, y'all. This is... So, I don't know. Have you played the Arkham games before, Alan?
I played the first two, but I didn't play the second two.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to bring out an article from TheVerge.com, written by Chaim Gartenberg. And it says the game was originally set to arrive in 2022. Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League has officially been delayed till 2023, according to an announcement from Rocksteady Games creative director Sefton Hill on Twitter. We've made the difficult decision to delay Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League to spring 2023. I know the delay is frustrating, but that time is going into making the best video game we can make. I look forward to bringing the chaos to Metropolis together. Thank you for your patience. The article goes on to say the official announcement of 2023 delay for the upcoming title comes a month after Bloomberg first reported that Suicide Squad was being pushed to next year. Rocksteady's last game, Batman Arkham Knight, was released all the way back in 2015. DC fans will also be able to take solace in the delay, though. Warner Brothers recently announced that the Batman-adjacent RPG Gotham Knights will finally be out this year on October 25th. So there'll still be a DC superhero adventure to play this holiday season. So, what do you think about that?
I think if they're delaying it, as long as it comes out I'm beyond being able to say hopefully it comes out without glitches, because that's like the holy grail of gaming these days.
Yep.
But as long as it comes out relatively complete, relatively well running, it doesn't come out like I know it was rushed by the fans, but so I don't like to shit on it too much. But to say, as long as it doesn't come out like Cyberpunk or some of the experiences some people have had with Dying Light 2,
yep,
delays is okay. Just do your job and make it good on launch. That's all I ask if you're delaying
I mean, how amped are you for this game? Actually, like,
I'm in two minds. Like, I was really pumped. Then when we saw the trailer a few months ago, and it just kind of, I can't remember the name of the game, but you know where it's going because you're the one that pointed it out. That skateboarding game, it just kind of looks like a version of that with DC characters. I'm, I don't think I'll get it off the mark unless I see someone get really wowed, but I'll definitely play it though. I think that's where I am at the moment.
what do you think about how Rocksteady hasn't released a game though for like 7 years? And you're seeing what we're seeing for this game, which is like, to me, like as a big DC fan, as a big Batman fan, I love Arkham games. I love the Arkham games. Not so much Arkham Knight, but the first two games are amazing. I'm really unimpressed by what I'm seeing here. Like, I don't get the game. I don't understand it. Like, is this a co-op game that's similar to something like Sunset Overdrive from Xbox when that was released? Because that was like, it looks exactly like a Sunset Overdrive game.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. The game I was referencing before. Sunset Overdrive.
It just doesn't look to me like it's that like interesting. It looks very. I'm not sold on the co-op play. I want the solo experience, so I'm kind of a little bit worried about the whole Gotham Knight situation as well, because that's the same sort of thing we're getting Gotham Knight, which is looks like an online co-op experience with a story wrapped around it. And I'm just a little bit worried about all these story-heavy games and game companies, game developers that were known for releasing quality story content, kind of going to this co-op online existence. What are your thoughts on that?
I think as long as they keep it playable single player, it should be all right. Like the Avengers game could have been done a lot better, and they should have focused less on multiplayer. I get a little bit of the same sort of vibe as this. Maybe it'll be like kind of small, open world yet limited maps, and you do your thing. If it's long as you're still pretty much getting the same experience playing it one player, then I'm okay with that. And I just, as you said, I have concerns it's going to be kind of multiplayer focused, and it's going to be that kind of dull mechanics and what you're actually doing in the game, unless you're playing with friends.
Like how open is this world? Like, how do the story missions collide with this open world? And like, how do you like? I don't know. Like, which character is your default? Do you have more? Do you unlock more characters? Can you pick any character? Like, there's so many questions I have for this game anyway. Because like, even though it's delayed, like I'm not surprised it's fucking delayed, because they haven't even told us what we're getting really. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm really hoping this game turns out really good, but from what I've seen, I'm a little bit underwhelmed and not too excited, which is a shame because, as I said, I really like the Arkham games, and I'm a big fan of what Rocksteady did with Batman and the Arkham games. Go back to look at most Batman games before the Arkham games and find a good Batman game. It's nearly fucking impossible. You know what I mean? So you got to give credit where credit's due. But I'm wondering if this is like that was their moment, and then we're waiting for something for 7 years, and it's going to come out and be very underwhelming. I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just got to hope for the best.
Exactly. So we'll move on to our next story, which is a little bit interesting. This one. This is actually about the game Ghostwire Tokyo. We have a review roundup. Now, this is a PlayStation exclusive game. It's not exclusive though, as in like Xbox is never getting it. This is a timed exclusive. So this is coming to Xbox, I think, within 12 months. So I'm going to pull up this Metacritic area. 1 second. Now, we're currently sitting on Metacritic with a 75, with 103 critic reviews, user score around 8.0. But I have never seen a more like there's no rhyme or reason to these reviews. Like, there's so much. There's like people that like it, some people that love it, some people that kind of don't like it's so all over the place. And for like a Sony first party sort of game, I guess that's meant to be exclusive. It's not, but it's going to be for a little bit. It's very crazy to see that it's kind of getting a little bit shunned. I'm going to read a few things here. So, Ghostwire Tokyo is a beautiful and eerie jaunt through the streets of Japan, coming face to face with lore and legends while fighting for your own quest and purpose. With seamless gameplay and fighting mechanics, 40 hours of exploration will seem like no time has gone by, and it will leave you wanting more time running the glistening streets of Shibuya. And then we've got, rarely has such a big budget game been based on such a thin gameplay premise, with this bafflingly dull first-person action adventure game that begins to run out of steam by the end of the tutorial level. So that's just a little sort of like a one side of the review spectrum, the other side of the review spectrum. And for, as we all know, PlayStation, who are like quality games, quality control, they always release like top tier notch games. It's pretty interesting to see, and especially when we come up to the next story, another PlayStation exclusive having some issues at the moment. What are your thoughts on this?
This is the first I've heard of it, and it looks pretty curious. But yeah, it's interesting that the reviews are very hot and cold. There's no middle ground there.
Yeah, well, there is middle ground, but it's just I've never seen like. So, for instance, when The Last of Us Part 2 comes out, that's going to be pretty like always up towards the 90s, the 80s, the 100s. You're never going to get below. Like Horizon, the first game was like 80s, 90s, you know, and the new game Horizon has come out, the Forbidden West, and it's not getting as much critical acclaim as people wanted or thought. But I think that's getting buried by things like Elden Ring at the moment. Which have kind of done exactly what Zelda Breath of the Wild did to the original Horizon, which was get released at the same time and kind of cloud that game from like sort of push it off to the side, and everyone kind of forgot about it. And everyone thought, oh, Horizon's coming out at the perfect time this time. It doesn't have like something to live up to. And no one expected Elden Ring to be the sort of game that it was. So it's kind of come out again at the wrong time. But I mean, how interested are you in this game for when it releases on Xbox?
It looks like it's worth playing. I'll probably have to learn a little bit more about it to get really excited, but it does look decent. Actually, this has gone under the radar at this point. I'm guessing because it is PlayStation exclusive, so I didn't really pick up on my radar. But I'm definitely keen to look a bit more into it and see what it's all about.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited to see this game. Like, I'm excited to give it a go. But I'm not looking to pay full price for it. I think I'll wait till it's on sale. So, sort of look like a sale game to me.
Yeah, I think, yeah. That's my takeaway at this point as well, I think.
Cool. We'll move on to the next story. Gran Turismo 7, microtransactions galore. Have you heard much about this, Alan?
I have not, no, but I'm not too surprised that they're going to be something Turismo.
Yes, well, I'm going to bring up an article here. 1 second. So, in this article, we have a story from TheVerge.com, and this is written by Mitchell Clark. Gran Turismo 7's developers apologize for the grind, promise fixes, and 1 million free credits. Gran Turismo 7 developer Polyphony Digital is apologizing for the changes recently introduced to the game's economy and is promising improvements along with 1 million free credits. These changes come after the game had a massive outage last week, which was the result of an update that also made changes to how players could earn credits by actually playing the game rather than through microtransactions. In a post on the PlayStation blog, Polyphony president Kazunori Yamauchi, I don't know, apologized for the frustration and confusion caused last week with our patch updates, which resulted in not only a server outage, but also adjustments to the in-game economy, which were made without a clear explanation to our community. As a goodwill gesture, the company promises to give players a non-paid credit pack of 1 million credits. The post says that the users should see the credits in their accounts shortly and that they'll only be given to the people who owned the game before the post was published. While I don't deem to have forgotten mine yet, the deadline for logging in and receiving them is a ways out. Polyphony says the offer is good until April 25th. So, yeah, basically, from what I've heard in other video game podcasts and stuff, Sacred Cymbals, they said that basically instead of earning the cars you want to earn or the tracks you want to earn just by playing the game, you had to like play this one track or whatever multiple times over and over, like grind out track, grind out cars. And like if you wanted to like say buy a car for 4 million credits, there was no option to just buy 4 million credits. You had to buy like 8 million credits. And then, so like, I don't know if you remember the old days with Xbox Live, how you'd buy like 1,500 Microsoft points and you only need 1,200, which you'd be left with the 300 points. And it's so annoying. Like it was so fucking annoying. And it was always such a like money scamming sort of like thing I looked at, which is kind of what is happening with GT7 at the moment. And for such an important game for Sony, like Gran Turismo 7, you'd think that this wouldn't be happening. This is what I mean by I'm concerned with PlayStation's health at the moment in the industry, because like we all know that last gen they were the leaders. Like Xbox was far behind, and now it seems like with the new releases like Horizon, Gran Turismo, Ghostwire Tokyo having all these issues, well maybe not Horizon having issues, but not hitting as like critically reception like as a way they wanted, I'm finding it really concerning on the PlayStation side. I mean, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, it's it definitely seems like they're having a bit of a rough time there. But at the same time, if I played this game and I was getting that kind of compensation, it sounds pretty fair. And you were saying that they're also looking to make you can earn the credits by playing. So I mean, it may pick up, and I mean, it might just be. I think consoles can have a dud period for a little bit of time and then come back again. Like next Naughty Dog release or something, I can hardly see it going the same path that it seems the last few games for exclusives for PlayStations have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we have God of War to look forward to this year. We have, what else do we have that's coming to PlayStation that I can't wait? Like there's some, like that's the main title this year, but I mean, like we don't really know what Naughty Dog are up to next. We know they're working on something like The Last of Us Factions, which is like an online component for The Last of Us, which is also crazy when you think about it, that we got since we got Batman Arkham Knight from Rocksteady, we've had Uncharted 4, The Lost Legacy, The Last of Us Part 2, the Uncharted Thieves collection, all from Naughty Dog in the same fucking period. So, I mean, like, look, there's still awesome, like, we're getting Spider-Man stuff, like, for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 or whatever, for PlayStation, which is awesome. So I'm not too concerned. Look, I think PlayStation are going to come back strong. But right now, I mean, look, being a PlayStation fan and a big video gamer, I would say that if someone was like, do I need to go for Xbox or PlayStation at the moment? Like, I couldn't recommend them PlayStation over Xbox at the moment, just with Game Pass, backwards compatibility, all games sort of being up-resed and lifted up without needing to buy an upgrade. Just everything Xbox is doing right at the moment. I feel like PlayStation have kind of been like, well, we're the top and we don't need to do any of this shit. So I'm worried for PlayStation, but also I'm kind of like, I know they'll pull themselves out of the rut that they're in. It just may take a kick up the ass for them to get it realized, like what's going on. I mean, we are seeing, I was going to bring this up as a story. We could actually see the competitor to Xbox Game Pass from PlayStation as early as next week. Spartacus, it's rumored to be called at the moment. It's a development name, code name, Spartacus, but it's apparently it's on the horizon. no pun intended. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that offers. I'm looking forward to seeing PlayStation come to grips with being they still are in competition, and they can't just sit there and sort of like twiddle their thumbs and be like, well, we've always been on top. We don't need to worry about it. I still think they need to be worried.
I think if they get too complacent, they're going to be in a bad place.
I think so too. And I love my PlayStation. I like Xbox as well. But like, I buy PlayStation simply because of the first party exclusives, the quality, what you're going to get from game development, like developers like Naughty Dog. What you're going to get from Santa Monica, what you're going to get from all the big PlayStation, titles, companies like Sony Bend. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens with Gran Turismo and my concerns for PlayStation. But right now, there's a few things that it's not good. So, all right. So we'll move on to our bonus story for today, which is GTA 5 Online is now getting an online subscription model. So I'm going to pull up this article. 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. My fucking screens are all over the place. All right, so we have Grand Theft. This is an article from GameSpot.com.au. Oh no, just GameSpot.com. So they have written that GTA 5 Online adding $6 month subscription comes with cash and rewards every month. So this is written by Eddie McCooch of GameSpot, and he says Rockstar Games has announced a new subscription offering for Grand Theft Auto 5's multiplayer mode, GTA Online. GTA Plus is a new membership program launching March 29th on PS5 and Xbox Series X/S that provides members with access to various extras and bonuses. This subscription costs $6 a month. Members get an allotment of GTA $500,000 every month into their Maze bank accounts, as well as discounts on vehicle upgrades and special cosmetics. The bonuses will change each month, and the first have now been revealed. So we are getting GTA 5 $500,000 delivered automatically. The Principal de Vest 8, I don't know what that is. Don't ask me. And it's just a bunch of cars and some XP and things like that. And they have also announced that they'll be adding some special shark cards. So again, we're stepping into the territory of sharks stealing our money. I just don't know what they're doing, man. Like, as I said, look, for $15, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, upgraded to the next gen version, have been giving online a go again. But like, I just keep focus on the next game. Like, leave it alone now. You've gotten it out. It's on the console. We don't need this. We don't need this subscription service. I just don't get. Like, I get if people don't want to buy the story mode, but for $6 a month, the $15 upgrade, you may as well get it and pay for the whole thing, and you don't have to buy the subscription service. Or then, if you don't buy the full game and you haven't bought it before and you got to pay full price, $6 a month, you may as well just buy the actual game. Like, I just don't get this option. What do you think?
No, I agree. It seems strange that they're introducing this for. Yeah, I don't understand it. I think there's going to come a point relatively soon that they're going to be having a new GTA Online because they're obviously working on number 6. So it seems like a lot of effort being put into a game that is, well, what I hope is probably on its last legs. I don't get it at all.
I totally agree. I'm confused, man.
It's strange.
I mean, they said they're working on GTA 6, but like, do you think they're just working on they were working on that in the background while we try to bleed you guys dry, and then we'll suddenly realize that Rockstar Games is empty and they've like shut up shop and closed and gone to like Cancun, like one of those shell companies.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Interesting story for you. When I was in uni at film school, I went. My mate was like, "I want to go get lunch." I'm like, "Cool," and he goes, "We're gonna go get what was it? It was a sushi rito," and I was like, "What is that?" And he's like, "We're going to get a sushi rito." I'm like, "What's a sushi rito?" And he's like, "It's a burrito, but like sushi in it." I'm like, "Okay." And we went to this place, right? And he's like, "Is this the place?" I'm like, "I don't know. You're the one that gone here before. I haven't been here." And we walked in, and this place looked like it had been just set up that day, yeah. And I walked in, and the guy was like, it was a burger joint, yeah.
Yeah.
And my friend at uni was like, I'm here to get a sushi rito. And the guy literally goes, "No worries," pulled the board down, changed the menu, and changed hats. I just died, man. Like I couldn't stop laughing, man. So I had to walk out of the shop. Like I thought, man, how many menus have these cunts got? Like just bopping up with these, like, you want Chinese food, suddenly changes like his name tag and everything. Like, so, and yeah, the next day they were gone as well. So I'm just wondering if like, this is what we're going to see from Rockstar Games. Do you reckon one day they're just going to disappear?
Just vanish. Maybe.
So yeah, I guess I thought I'd bring that up and just share it to everyone about how we're still getting scammed. Now this is sort of something we're going to talk about with a bit of a heavy heart, but also sort of try to look at the brighter side of it as well. Right now we've got the Foo Fighters drummer passing and our Studio 666 impressions. The drummer had died at age 50 just after launching a theatrical movie and playing a show in Australia, including a show in Geelong, which was a super weird place to play a show. But yeah, so I mean, first of all, what are your thoughts on Taylor passing at 50? And yeah, what did you think when you first heard it and things like that?
I was pretty shocked. I actually met him a couple of times, and he was just he was a down to earth, nice guy. Like everyone says, like he pretty much just talked to you like you were a person, not a fan. Like kind of going up to meet him. But it's sad that it's kind of been unfolded that he had, I think, 10 different drugs in his body. It's a terrible waste. Like I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, he deserves it, because no one deserves that. But it fucking sucks, especially under the circumstances. Like, it's a waste of, I think, a big talent, and from what I know and from what I've seen, just a good dude as well. It's a hell of a thing.
I've kind of seen people, like some pretty arsehole-ish people saying things like, oh, the junkie died because he's a junkie and things like that. And I think that's just so wrong, because what I seem to basically see from reports is that most of the drugs in his system were based on psych problems. So like, benzos, antidepressant medications, anti-anxiety things. So I wouldn't say that he died from being a junkie. I could say that maybe he died from mental health issues and related to the mental health, the medication he was on to counteract that mental health. So, I mean, also, like, we don't know if it was like a straight up overdose. Was this a heart attack? Was this another problem? Like, it's too early to tell right now. But I mean, yeah, it's sad. I don't think anyone should really make light of it. I also don't think anyone should really talk about him like he was so drug fueled, because I wouldn't look at him like that. I also don't think Dave Grohl would allow him to be in the Foo Fighters if he was that affected by it. True, because I don't see Dave Grohl being a big drug user. Like maybe back in the day, early Foo Fighters and late Nirvana and things like that. But like, yeah, okay, maybe he has his problems and stuff, but the Foo Fighters have never really been known as like the party band, the band that gets loose, the band that gets fucked up. Dave Grohl has never been sort of like in and out of rehab. So like, I don't see Dave Grohl being a supporter of someone on drugs, especially, yeah.
Especially like Taylor Hawkins, he did have a past, which I think is maybe more the case that played a factor as well. So I think he OD'd and died in the early 2000s. So coupled with that as well, I don't think someone like Dave Grohl, who's not really that much of, as you said, a party kind of rock star would really have that. Like, it doesn't add up that it was all just for recreation.
No, as I said, look, he did die in Colombia, the cocaine capital of the world. He was unresponsive. So I'm not saying that drugs didn't play a part, but I wouldn't sit here and call him a junkie. And I am saddened by this news more than anything. So with that, we're going to get into our story that goes along with this, which is your sort of impressions on the movie Studio 666, which just came out last month, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And it was written by the Foo Fighters, or Dave Grohl, starring the Foo Fighters, about Foo Fighters. And yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm interested to hear your impressions. You start talking. I'm just going to get this phone to shut it up.
Yeah, yeah. It's really good. It's definitely, you have to either be a fan of cheesy comedy horror, the Foo Fighters, or both. It's very intentionally B grade. So if you're looking for some kind of in-depth quality horror movie or with any kind of intricate story, you're looking in the wrong place. But I think the trailer also kind of gives that away. But it's good. It's gory. It's funny. It's cheesy. It's just a good time. Like, if you've got nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon, it is a good movie to put on.
And like, what's it like sort of about?
Pretty much the Foo Fighters are doing their 10th album, and they end up going to this house, which I can't remember the timeline of when it was. I think the 90s there was a band that went there, and the singer killed the rest of the band, and yada yada yada. And they ended up moving into the house for a few weeks to write the album, and Dave Grohl gets possessed, and then wackiness ensues.
Awesome. And like, is it like, it feels very small budget, obviously.
Yeah.
Is that the feeling you got watching it?
Definitely, I didn't. It was a decent enough budget that, like, when there was gore and stuff, it didn't look like tacky. But you could definitely tell it was a low budget kind of a movie. But I think that might have been what they were going for as well. I think they were going for that kind of a look. It's maybe a bit of a homage to your, like, B grade horror films.
Awesome. And like, again, like, is it well, yeah, we're seeing footage here now. So like, you're saying like it's a comedy. It's like sort of a horror as well.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a music documentary as well, I guess, kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Is it them actually recording their real 10th album, or is it just?
I don't think so. Yeah, they don't really get that far into actually making an album without giving out too much story.
Yeah, awesome, man. So like, where can you find it to watch it?
I sailed the 7 seas to get it. So I'm assuming it is streaming on a service somewhere, maybe not in Australia, but somewhere. At this point, I don't even know if it's still in the movies here. I think it probably would have had a pretty short run. So my next guess is, for in Australia, if you're more law abiding, then it will be somewhere soon.
Awesome, man. I'll have to check it out. I'm interested now. I'm not the biggest Foo Fighter fan, so like, I don't know how much interest I have into it, but like, I'm interested to see what they did for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. So, we'll move on to our next story, I guess, which is the Batman deleted Joker scene. So, for everyone that has seen the Batman or hasn't seen the Batman, I guess, there was a scene that was sort of like, sort of showed you that they were trying to dip their toe into having the Joker in the world of the Batman. We kind of got a look at him towards the end of the Batman movie, a very quick peek, and we were told that there was an actual scene taken from the movie, out of the movie, that didn't make the cut. showed more of the Joker in it, and showed the Batman going to Arkham Asylum asking the Joker about what the Riddler, how to catch the Riddler or who the Riddler is and things like that. And I thought we would watch it together and check it out because I haven't watched it yet. I think you watched it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I haven't checked it out yet, and I thought we'd sort of do a reaction video to it.
Definitely.
All right, so I'm going to chuck that on. Share screen. All right.
Serial killer. Not to expect. First anniversary paper. Why did you think that was so cheap? I thought you'd be curious. You just gotta get off of this stuff. Don't you? You have pictures. It's violence. It's so baroque. Oh, he likes little puzzles, doesn't he? So meticulous. Like he's been planning this his whole life. I know who he is. Oh. Who is he? He's a nobody. Wants to be somebody. The mayor, the commissioner. Yeah. He's got ambition. You think his motive is political? Oh, no. This is very, very personal. He feels these people have all wronged him. Probably goes way back. Unhealed wounds, stolen lunch money. Why is he writing to me? Maybe he's a fan of yours? Or maybe he's got a grudge against you too. Maybe you're the main course. Any theories? Not yet. Really? You're normally so ahead of the curve. But something is different this time. This is very upsetting to you. Let's get back to him. Why? You're so much more fun. I'm not here to talk about me. What are you here to talk about? I want to know how he thinks. You know exactly how he thinks. Have you read this file? You two have so much in common. Masked Avengers. So he's even more righteous. Oh, are you afraid he makes you look soft? You're wasting my time. Okay. I'll tell you what I really think. I think you don't really care about his motives, whether he loves or hates you. I think somewhere deep down, you're just terrified. Because you're not sure he's wrong, huh? You think they deserved it, huh? You think they deserved it.
So that was it. What do you think about it?
It made me like that Joker a little more than what we saw in the movie. It's weird. It looks like they're kind of going for somewhere in between Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger. I think, in at least appearance.
Yeah, I'm not too sold on it. I like it more than what we saw in the theater of him, but I don't like it much more than what we did see in the theater. I'm kind of happy we didn't get it. Would have you liked to see this in the movie, or are you happy that it was a deleted scene?
I wouldn't have minded seeing it in the movie, but I still think him to be the main in the next movie would not be good. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Well, I don't know. I'm really interested to see where they take the Batman next, you know? So, I mean, have you got any guesses of what you think might happen now? Like, I know we discussed this already, but, like, have you sat on it and thought it a little bit more?
I think with the amount of buzz they're putting out, the Joker's definitely going to be in it. To what capacity, I don't know. What I'm hoping for is he's still in prison until the end of the movie, and he gets out for the third movie, but maybe he's a bit of an advisor role for the next movie. I don't know, something along those lines, or maybe you just see him. Yeah, I think they're definitely building up to having the Joker actually in the next movie. I don't think they're kind of putting so much sizzle on it if they weren't.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, we'll move on to our next story, which is Jackass 4.5. Now, for all of you that haven't seen it yet, Jackass is now available. Jackass Forever is now available on what's it called? It's called Early Access on Amazon Prime, but I believe it's through Paramount Plus streaming. So you can now watch Jackass Forever if you're willing to rent it for $20 or buy it for $25 in its pre-sale thing. But the weird thing is that we are getting Jackass 4.5, which we all knew we were sort of going to get. But the weird thing is it got sold to Netflix. So Netflix have acquired the rights to Jackass 4.5, while Paramount have the rights to Jackass Forever, which I find a little baffling. What do you think about that, Alan?
I think that is strange. I don't know why they've done that, but it's interesting.
I find it weird that they wouldn't just release, like, I mean, Forever has done really well at the box office. I've done some research into it. Apparently they did a lot better than they expected. And I just thought because of that reason, 4.5 would sort of have a bit more of a, like, big deal that it's coming out, and you'd want to sort of be like, well, we're going to put this on Paramount with where Forever is, so that everyone can find every Jackass movie where they want. Like, it's all here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where you'll find 3.5. That's where you'll find 2.5. They're all up there already. So, I mean, are you excited for 4.5, and are you going to watch Forever again? And yeah, what are your excitement levels, I guess?
Definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing this again as well as seeing 4.5. I'm also kind of interested to see if 4.5 will have any more of Bam. I don't know.
I don't think so. I really don't. I think that they would have had more of Bam had they solved their issues already. Like, say that the lawsuit had gone through and Bam, and then we're all good, and they were all talking again, and Bam was sort of like on his track to being sort of like sober again and things like that, they would be like, all right, well, we've got all this cool footage of Bam, let's chuck it in. I almost feel like we're going to get a lot more of the cast, the new cast in this new one. Like, I think we're going to see more of Rachel. I don't think she's utilized a lot in Forever. And I really didn't notice a lot of stuff. Like, honestly, I think if you rewatch Jackass Forever, you'll be surprised about how much little she's actually in it. She does that grandpa stunt when they go to the store. She does the scorpion Botox, and she also does the kissing the electric taser thing where she licks the taser or licks the electric lollipop. And that's literally all she does in the movie. But in the trailer, we see footage of her standing with her grandpa while Johnny Knoxville's on the top of the bus stop. So I believe we're going to see a lot more of the cast that we didn't see enough in it. I wonder how much Erin McGeehy's going to be in this movie, because they said that there's a lot of stuff that didn't make it into this movie because that person already had so many stunts in this movie that it was like too much. So I wonder if we're going to get much more of Erin McGeehy. I wonder if it's going to feel like a more Jackass Forever, or if it's going to feel more like another 0.5, because I don't know about you, but I feel like the 0.5 Jackass movies do feel a little less usually than the full release. How do you feel about that?
No, I definitely think that, the 0.5 usually feels a bit more like it's the cutting room floor kind of stuff. But I don't know. I reckon 4.5, I reckon it might lift its game a little bit, considering it's the last we're really going to see of the old crew.
Well, I'm not sure about that, man. I really don't know if we're going to not... I just don't see them not doing another one when this has done so extremely well. And they've got new cast members, and they went out of their way to get new cast members. And this cast has now got a career because of these dudes. Like Poopies was just on Red Bull TV sort of thing, getting paid nothing. That other Zach guy, the big guy, was doing his own stunts. Rachel was a stand-up comedian. So all these people have been given this giant chance at being the cast for Jackass, and I don't see them not moving on that. This was a winner, this movie. It was awesome. It was funny. It got critically loved by critics loved it. The fans loved it. What I'd love to see is we get a Jackass 5 with all the crew back, including Bam, and we get that sort of what we missed in Jackass Forever in Jackass 5, but we get, as Johnny Knoxville said, people are like, well, this is the last movie you can do because your doctors have said to you that this is the last movie you can do. And he's like, no, I can do more movies. I just can't do crazy stunts like the bull thing anymore, or shot out of the I can still do cool things. I can still be in this movie. And Steve-O and stuff have already said that they probably do more. I mean, look, they get paid $5 million each. I think Knoxville gets more. So I don't see them hanging up, any of them saying no to that, especially when their careers are maybe not like Steve-O. Steve-O's got his podcast, he's got his stand-up tour, but Knoxville doesn't do any acting outside of Jackass, really. And when he does, it's usually a bomb. Chris Pontius doesn't really do much. Preston Lacey definitely doesn't do anything. Jeff Tremaine he's a director, but he did the Motley Crue movie, he did Bad Grandpa, but all his sort of stuff is in the Jackass realm as well. I just don't see them hanging it up. I see it being more of a chance of them coming back now than I did for them doing Forever, because I never thought we'd get Jackass Forever, a number 4 after 3D, because it's been 10 years. So I'm hoping we do get more. And I'm hoping we do get to see more of this cast get ushered in slowly and become the main cast as we sort of phase out the old cast, and sort of have Jackass be a generational thing, rather than once all these guys stop, we just stop doing it. So I don't know. I feel like there's plenty more there at the well, and I'm be more than happy to drink out of that well as long as they keep flowing the water. So
no, I think you're right.
I guess we'll wait and see what 4.5 looks like. It's very interesting, a move for them to sell it to a different media company. like rather than just put it on Paramount. So I'm wondering when it's going to be released. We don't have a release date for it yet, but it's going to be soon. I wouldn't think we're going to wait too much longer for it. So yeah, everyone keep an eye out for that. And yeah, if you haven't checked out Jackass Forever, me and Alan reviewed it in our Jackass Ranked and Reviewed series. We loved it. Go check it out, our review. We thought it was an awesome movie, and yeah, I'd be more than happy to see more. So we're going to move on to our last story, which has just kind of happened today while we were doing our setup, which is Will Smith versus Chris Rock. And this was at the Oscars, was it?
Yeah. Academy Awards, I think.
Academy Awards? Okay. So I'm bringing the video up. I haven't actually seen it yet. So let's check it out.
It is great.
Wait to see it, all right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
So yeah, interesting. So like, is Will Smith still with Jada Pinkett?
Yeah, apparently they're in an open relationship. But
that's what I mean, man. When you brought this up to me earlier, and I said this whole thing is whack, and you were like, "What do you mean?" Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm like, just their relationship, like this in-depth interview they did about her cheating on him with this like young dude, and like then like this open relationship, and now like he's not even able to take a joke about his wife, and like it's Chris Rock making a joke on the Oscars, and you're Will Smith, and you used to do jokes and stand up and shit. Like, you know what the game is about. Don't take it to heart like you did. Like, it's not. Don't be like that. What do you think about it?
I think it's I don't know if Chris Rock knew. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of it might have been distasteful because she shaved her head because I found out she has alopecia, so her hair was thinning. But one, Chris Rock might not have known, and two, if he did or didn't, he didn't have time to apologize. And three, if you walk up there and you belt him, you're kind of invalidating his dick move because you just pulled one. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And Will Smith is going to feel more fallout in his career for this, I think, than Chris Rock is. Like, I just don't understand.
But didn't he go on to win an Oscar as well?
Pardon?
Didn't he win the Oscar tonight as well?
Yeah. He and he was making jokes about it, and I don't know. I think he's going to have some fallout from this. It's like the only thing I can put it down to is he really likes being a meme, so he decided to put himself back in the territory of being a meme. Like,
yeah,
it's really poorly handled.
Definitely was very poorly handled. I don't know. I'm not a big Chris Rock fan. I like Will Smith. I like Chris Rock. They're just fine. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see when this sort of stuff happens, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Just sort of an inside look at what actually kind of like usually the person like Will Smith would go up and kind of just ignore it, or maybe give him sort of like a knock back with like a joke or like something harsh towards them. But to see him,
the thing was he laughed at first. Because I saw a slightly longer video. He was laughing at first, then he saw Jada wasn't happy, and he got up and did that. And it's like, so you knew it was a joke. Like,
I don't know, man. Hollywood celebrities, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting bunch of people.
Stupid.
Yeah, of course. But you know, it wouldn't be Hollywood without some drama, would it? So
Precisely.
Well, that about does it for today. That's our episode. So that was our episode for March 28th, 2022. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope we covered a lot of stories. We hope we gave you an insight to some of the stuff going on. And yeah, we've got a lot coming up. We've got a review for Batman Returns dropping tomorrow for our ranked and reviewed series. We've just had our Batman 1989 review drop. Go see where that stacks up next to the Batman. We've already done that too. We're doing every Batman movie at the moment. Yes, including Lego Batman. And yes, including Batman v Superman. No, not including the 60s Batman. So, yeah, we've got a lot coming up. We've got other series we're doing. We're going to be doing all the Halloween movies. We're going to be doing a bunch more stuff. Like, we've got your show, Nerdy by Nature, still happening. Have you worked out what your next episode is going to be?
I'm going to do probably a review on WWE 22K.
Yep.
Need to spend a little bit more time with it, but I should hopefully have that well on its way out by the end of the week.
Yeah, awesome, man. And I'm going to be doing 10 Things You Didn't Know. My episode should come out in the next week or two. It's sort of going to be a once every month thing, maybe once every 6-week thing for me, just because I've got a lot on still. So I'll put one up whenever I can. I'm still working out. I've got 2 topics that I'm trying to decide between at the moment. So there'll be more on that soon. And yeah, that's about it at the moment. But as we said, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. It would really help us out. And you've been doing it a lot already. So we thank all those that have already done it. And we hope you're enjoying the content. And as always, I am your host, Tomye West. And joining me as always is my co-host, Alannis Maximus. And we'll see you on the other side. Keep being loud.